Holiday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Holiday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Holiday. Holiday, bring it on.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to High School Hoops. As you know, we're trying out new hosts for the next, I don't even know how long, for a while. If you'd like to get your name in on that, let me know. You can do that just by emailing me at steve@teachhoops.com, and I'll get you on the wait list there to if you would like to give this thing a shot as far as the co-host goes. And then also Coach Bill and I over at Coaching Youth Hoops are giving away a free clinic this fall at some point. And you can find that at coachingyouthhoops.com/clinic. And I'll put that down in the show notes. And then we're also kind of starting this dynamic app that's, I think, is going to be very helpful for youth coaches at coachingyouthhoops.com/waitlist. So go over and check that out, and let's head off the podcast.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to High School Hoops with your host, Steve Collins.
All right. Welcome to High School Hoops. Like I was saying last week or a while ago, it's going to be past episode 300. I'm not sure when. But before we jump in, we're going to talk about some defensive things today. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I was just thinking about this and when I started it and what I was looking for. And I know coaches talked about trying to make a difference. That's, making connections, and basketball has given me more than anything than anything. And it's just a little bit of me trying to give a little bit back to this great game. So go over and check out teachhoops.com, and also go over and check out Dr. Dish, the number one shooting machine on the market. Mention High School Hoops, mention Coach Collins, and they'll give you $450 off. I think my record is 28 seconds for takedown and put away. So see if you can beat that. Let me know if you can. All right. So today we're going to talk about kind of some defensive work, Coach, and teaching specific things with defense. What's your thoughts on this? I think it's, at least now in the last 5 to 10 years, much harder to teach some defensive principles than it is to teach offensive principles. But anyway, what you had some thoughts about some defensive things. What was that?
Actually, there's one thing that even when I was in high school that my coach didn't go over, was that it varies. Like you have to, you're a team. Like those five on the floor, even you guys got to be connected. Like there shouldn't be a move made without everybody giving some type of nonverbal signal, or actually even verbal. Like you have to communicate on defense. Like you don't get the choice. Like
and I think that's a difficult skill to teach. I think the defensive part is a difficult thing to teach. And do you have how do you do that? I mean, I've been in this for a really long time, and it's like getting them to talk and communicate the right defensive things is not easy.
Yes. Honestly, it starts off the court. Like the team bonding, that has to be put into the schedule.
Right.
Communication.
And sometimes I just tell them, you got to just talk. I don't care what it is. But you have to do something. You have to say something. I don't care if you just scream. I tell them just make a noise, but you got to do something to communicate. And I'll just start screaming, whatever. It's like, and then eventually we can talk about words they need to say and things like that. But you were talking about some of the help stuff or some of the other things that need to get better at. What was that?
Help defense, stunt.
Help.
I call it stunt. I'm pretty sure other coaches call it something else, but we had a pretty short team.
Right.
So I can't say short, but smaller team in comparison. So when we had to contest a shot, I'd say anywhere below the free throw, we had to adjust. So if you cut into the basket, believe you're gonna have 3 or 4 hands reaching out for that ball, just to get you to change course and for us to pick up on. That's it.
I know what you're saying. And the thing is, I think what's really important with the defense is there's got to be breakdown. I think they don't always know what to do and when to do it. And obviously you got to show them, helpline or, whatever you want to call it. But I think there's some other aspects of the defensive side of the game that you have to really pivot into, and let them learn. Like, I can't be on ball. I can't pressure, I'm not quick enough. I'm not so I always tell the players, I played collegiate basketball, but I was not the quickest person in the world, but I could make up for lack of quickness by smarts and knowing the angle I had to be and where I was supposed to be, and maybe make up that extra step that I didn't have by, knowing the location. And that's what I think some of the things that we as coaches have to teach them. And you can do it in small-sided games and you can do it in other avenues, but I think you got to break those things down. Because it's not like they're not trying. I think it's just sometimes they don't know the spots at which they have to be. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but I think that's a big part of the game that's been lost.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell coaches, you have to really be conscious of how, when, where you're teaching the defensive principles. How are you doing it? Where are you doing it? Those things are, they're going to correlate, and you really have to lean into that if you want to be good at help side. You want to be good at, I don't know, like defending Caitlin Clark or defending Kobe or whatever you're doing. How are you going to do it? That's where, especially for high school coaches, because most of these people are high school coaches, that comes down to the scout. That comes down to how you're going to execute your game plan for person X or person Y, or what are you going to do with this, or how are you going to do that? I think that's something that as coaches, and that would go into my notebook. Coach talks about his notebook. I have I do little ones. I probably have about 50 of these little notebooks floating around everywhere. And I'm always writing in them, because it's thoughts. It's kind of that deep dive and the things that you need. All right. Anything else, Coach, defensively?
Honestly, there was, I forget how you said it. Basically, it's cohesive.
Right.
Everybody has to work together. It's a well-oiled machine. And another small thing was that I just recently started doing was giving the illusion of a zone.
Yes, I love that. I do that too. You show like a 1-2-2, and then you morph into a zone. And we did some stuff last year where we were showing 1-3-1, and if it went right side, it was 1-3-1. If it went left side, it was man. It's just some of those illusions defensively can freak people out, to be honest with you. It's really good stuff. I know it really works well. All right. Thank you, Coach.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
If your brain is at full capacity with to-dos, birthdays, and dinner plans, meet Skylight Calendar. It syncs your entire family's schedule onto a sleek digital display, so you focus on important things like where you left your coffee. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/talk. Go to skylightcal.com/talk for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's skylightcal.com/talk.